Welcome back into Talking Fitch. Joining me this afternoon. He got out of the elements, as you will in this segment. Jeff Dostalek, Fitch-Rona EMS. Think through that one, Jeff. You got to get out of the elements.
Out of the elements.
To talk about the elements.
Shelter in place.
It's exactly right. You're here. Appreciate you stopping out.
Sure.
Getting you a little bit earlier than our normal segment, as we were dealing with a pretty impressive heat wave this week, and.
Yes.
Of course, we'd want to turn to you guys for advice on it. I saw your folks out at Festival of Speed, and they were taking advice that you're going to share with us about getting out of the elements.
Good, I trained them well.
Well, they did say other things about you, but I'll
right.
For confidentiality, I can't really say one way or the other. But
great.
What we're talking about is heat illnesses here, and we're gonna work with American Red Cross. You've got some info that we'll share through there, but Jeff, starting with heat exhaustion and heat itself.
Sure.
What do we got to do?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's time that we talk about this and just being aware of what your surroundings are and the temperature and the heat index, and those two things together really can wreak havoc on your body if you're not really paying attention. So the heat index is what your body feels as far as the heat and humidity are combined, and we know that the heat indexes are going to go somewhere close to 100 or plus in the next couple of days. Now I came in from outside today and it felt really nice out, and it's kind of sort of overcast and a little bit sunny. So it really didn't feel that bad, but just to pay attention to the temperatures when you go out there. I just documented a couple things here about what we should do as far as safety is concerned. First and foremost, just be prepared, especially for power outages. If we have some sort of power outage, air conditioning, is going to go out, and that's going to be tough. So make sure that you have fans around the house and just be prepared for that. Know your neighbors. Make sure that you go and check on your neighbors, and especially the elderly, the young, and those people that already have chronic medical conditions. They can become quick victims to excessive heat. And then, just from an animal standpoint, making sure that your animals are safe as well. So making sure they have water, making sure that your time outside with them, your walks with them are shorter than normal. The other thing I saw in the news last night was check the pavement. So when you go for a walk, the pavement could be hot. One of the suggestions is putting the back of your hand on the concrete, and if it starts to burn the back of your hand, it's obviously too hot for your dog or your cat or your animal to be out there. So
that's an interesting one. I wouldn't have actually thought about that as far as the animals go for heat, because you've got the shoes on. You would never know that.
Right.
Interesting.
Stay tuned to weather updates as things change. And then just a couple things. So during the heat wave, making sure that you stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, especially those times when you think you're not thirsty. You probably are still could be having issues with dehydration, so still maintaining that. They talk a little bit about drinking Gatorade and things like that. That's fine as well to replace some of the electrolytes. But try to watch the caffeine and alcohol intake. Now, for me, caffeine and watching that is probably, it's hard. So
you're watching it go down as much as I am.
Right. Wear loose-fitting clothing. Wear light-colored clothing, as black will absorb the heat.
I noticed you're wearing your white shirt today.
Yes.
Is that part of this segment? I know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm doing the opposite. I'm doing everything you're not saying. So think about that.
Slow down. Stay indoors if possible. Avoid strenuous exercise. If you're working outdoors, so I was thinking about the construction workers on McKee and on the Fitch-Rona Road project. If you're outdoors, just having a buddy system, making sure that you pay attention to your coworkers out there, making sure they stay hydrated as well. And then again, check on family and friends. It's important that we watch out for each other.
Absolutely, and as you try to do all of these things and try to do it, even the healthiest person, everybody's subject to having some type of heat related thing here. Whether you're fit, whether you're not so fit like myself, either way, you are subject to getting heat exhaustion, cramps, all of that thing. While the name on these, have different symptoms, they're all very serious and can lead to heat stroke, which is the worst out of what you're going to talk about here next. But break down what are some of the things that could happen if you ignore what you just told us. As far
Sure.
as
Some of the signs of heat cramps are probably going to be the first thing you're going to notice. So muscle spasms, that means you're losing some fluid and electrolytes. If you start to notice those things, it's probably going to be a precursor to what would be next, which would be heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion, you'll have pale, moist, cool skin. You might even look a little bit flushed. You'll be sweating profusely. You might even get a little bit of dizziness or nausea. You just feel tired. So the best thing to do when you notice that you're having heat exhaustion or somebody that's with you is to get them into a cool place, get them out of the sun, put cool packs on the back of their necks or cold towels with water on the back of their necks, cold packs and ice in the groins and in the armpit, and just make sure that you're giving them some fluid so that you can cool them down. And while I think heat exhaustion is an emergency, I think it's something that you can take care of on your own as long as you're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing to get better. Obviously, heat stroke, and that's the one thing that we really need to pay attention to. And I think this is something that can sneak up on you if you're really not paying attention, or you think you are a fit person and you're out there, running or biking or exercising or even working out there, and you're not watching what your intake is. So obviously, heat exhaustion is a life-threatening condition, and 911 definitely should be contacted for that. The signs of that would be hot red skin, a change of level of consciousness. You'll start to vomit, or your coworker will start to vomit, and you'll have a very high body temperature, so somewhere close to 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, calling 911 and doing some of the things that we just talked about with heat exhaustion is moving them into a cool place as soon as you possibly can. Rapid cooling by applying ice or cold packs to the neck and to the groin and to the armpits. I would say if they can drink some water, it's probably a good idea to start giving some fluid into them, but just watch their level of consciousness. And if they're vomiting or they're not able to maintain their airway by drinking something, then you don't want to do that.
Yeah, if that drowsiness is just too there, they can't even take a verbal command. That's the not time to be given food, water, anything else in between. That's You're calling 911 at that point, because you guys have some of the tools that can help that. But getting it, the simple things of getting out of the elements, taking more breaks today and through the week, water. I mean, simple things go a long ways here, and I think just being conscious of the heat itself is the big message here.
Absolutely.
So, all right, well, tell everybody to stay safe over there at
We will.
Fitch-Rona, and we'll have you back here in a couple of weeks, hopefully talking about other emergencies. Not maybe it'll be cooled down.
Winter.
Don't you even, Jeff Dostalek. All right, that's Jeff Dostalek, Fitch-Rona EMS. God, I tell you. All right, we'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.